The vastness of our universe and the space surrounding us leaves scientists with countless questions. They are constantly attempting to delve further into the unknown expanse that stretches endless past our atmosphere and discover what lies beyond the realm of our understanding. Since the Large Hadron Collider first started up on September 10, 2008, it's been at the center of many incredible discoveries. As mentioned on CERN's website, it's currently the world's largest and most powerful particle accelerator. The Large Hadron Collider consists of a 27-kilometer ring of superconducting magnets, with a number of accelerating structures to boost the energy of the particles along the way. CERN, the European Physics Research Centre, recently upgraded the Large Hadron Collider. The upgrade comes years after the collider managed to provide scientists with answers to a riddle when it confirmed the Higgs boson exists. Since being built though, it's been at the centre of a number of theories, with those around the world questioning the true nature of this giant machine. Just yesterday, someone was live streaming above the Large Hadron Collider when they noticed something strange. They described the object in question as being a set of stationary lines, saying that they didn't move, were hovering above CERN's complex, and that every so often each of the lights would turn on and off, but said that not at any point did they descend in elevation, and described the objects as being in the shape of a triangle or a boomerang. The livestream then started to gain traction as people flooded in to see what this thing was, while at the same time putting forward their own theories in order to explain it. The person who uploaded the livestream was there for over an hour, and they recorded the whole thing. One person said the following: "This is a little ominous, isn't it? There's a huge triangular-shaped object hovering above the Large Hadron Collider, while lightning is surrounding it. It's like a scene from a movie." End quote. One of the strangest things about this event was how the object just stayed in pretty much the same position, and it did this for all of the livestream, with some of the viewers asking how it could have done that. The strange object was made up of 4 lights that would occasionally turn on and off. At this moment in time, the size of this craft is not known, but some have guessed that it's anywhere from 40 feet to hundreds of feet in length. Interestingly, these triangle-shaped crafts are certainly nothing new, and for years now they've been reported in pretty much every country around the world. What they are though is still heavily debated. Some argue that these crafts are part of the latest stealth fleet of either the United States military or UK's military, or some users have questioned how we would have such a thing. Amateur researchers have also noticed how these things are never normally seen during the daytime. Although there have been a few photographs taken during the day, it still hasn't helped us to come to a definitive answer for what these things are, along with how they're able to achieve some of the things they do. There have been around 4,000 reports of the triangle since the 1990s in the UK alone. There have also been waves of triangle sightings in Belgium, France, Holland and Germany. According to databases that keep track of mysterious crafts that have been witnessed, the Black Triangle is one of the most commonly reported by eyewitnesses. Mr. McGrillen, a media journalist, has said that US officials have in their possession a clear photograph of one of these black triangles, and said that it shows it rising out of the ocean, saying that insiders are aware of this photograph as they have gone on record as telling others about it, detailing that the craft was captured back in 2019 by a pilot. Mr. McGrillen said the following: "It could be a key piece of evidence, demonstrating that we are truly in the presence of some other intelligence." End quote. At the time, the pilot was flying an FA-18F Super Hornet. The photograph in question was captured by equipment on board the Super Hornet, which is one of the reasons why it hasn't been released to the public, with insiders noting that the photograph is still locked up with US officials, who don't talk about it, and who have said that they likely won't be releasing it anytime in the near future. Those who have seen the photograph have said that it was captured by the pilot off the east coast of the United States, and describe it as looking like a giant black triangle, with blunted edges and having spherical white lights on each of the corners. Tom Rogan, a national security writer, has come forward and said that the photograph does exist, and says that he's been told about it from insiders. He said the following: "It's the tip of the iceberg, but we will see more leaks of mysterious flying aircraft imagery and data in the coming years. US officials should get ahead of the curve and officially release more material." End quote. It's for this reason that some have said that these mysterious black triangles don't belong to us, noting if they aren't willing to share a photograph or talk about it, then it's likely that these things are coming from an outside source. Some online users have said that it's strange because in the last few years, we've basically been told that many of these crafts are actually seen out in the oceans, and this has caused some to put forward their own theories for why this is. For years now, people have said that they've seen strange objects flying in and out of the oceans, with many dismissing these claims as nothing more than made-up stories, but with insiders now admitting that many of these crafts have been seen in our oceans by US officials and the military. It's only caused more questions to be put forward, including who do they belong to, why are they more commonly seen out in the oceans, what's out there that's leading them to fly miles out to sea, why aren't these photographs being released, and ultimately where are they coming from. Many people are talking about the Metaverse and how it's going to change the world around us. For those unaware, the Metaverse is essentially a virtual world where you can interact with things around you. One of the reasons why it's gaining so much traction is because researchers have said that it has a lot of potential for people to make a profit, and this has in turn brought in investors. One investor, Miss Woods, said that within a few years the Metaverse will influence every corner of the economy, saying that investors need to get involved quickly as it's easily a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. Going on to say the following: "It's a big idea that will probably infiltrate every sector in ways that we cannot even imagine." End quote. Elon Musk was recently asked what his thoughts were on the Metaverse, with the interviewer asking whether he sees the Metaverse as being dangerous or helpful for humanity. Elon responded with the following: "Maybe we're in the Metaverse right now. It's just metaverses all the way down. Honestly, I don't buy into the Metaverse stuff. Sure, you can put a TV on your nose. I'm not sure if that means you're in the Metaverse. When I grew up, it was like don't sit too close to the TV because it will ruin your eyesight. But now it's right here at the end of your nose. I'm not sure if this is good for you. I've tried some of those games and they're okay, but they give you motion sickness. You can do these games on your computer and you can get the first-person game to move rapidly and not get sick. But if you wear goggles, you end up getting sick. It's okay, but Neuralink, for example, can long-term put you into a fully virtual reality world. I don't see this catching on, and I can't see people strapping a TV to their face and moving around all day. It gets uncomfortable for this thing to really catch on. I think that we're far from disappearing into the Metaverse. It sounds buzzwordy and I don't want to sound too old, or that I'm dismissing the internet, but I can't see it catching on. The internet has transformed humanity. I don't want to dismiss this, but I can't see a compelling Metaverse, and it sounds like more of a marketing thing than something that's actually going to catch on." End quote. One user said the following: "I genuinely have nothing against Elon, but I wonder why he came out with this statement. Because in one sentence he dismisses the Metaverse and says that once it rolls out nothing will really change, but in the next sentence he says that Neuralink will be able to put you into an alternative reality. It's strange how he's so dismissive of one but then describes the exact thing in the next sentence. Perhaps he was hoping that Neuralink would be further along by now, and is worrying that the market gap is expanding quicker than he thought." End quote. Elon has been vocal about the future of humanity and the direction that we're heading in, noting that artificial intelligence needs to be kept in check before it becomes too self-aware, and that the Metaverse could grow into something that could be all-consuming. But as some have pointed out, he has two companies that covers both of these topics, OpenAI, which is an artificial intelligence research laboratory, and also Neuralink, a company funded by Elon which showcases his newest scientific idea, brain chips. He showed a pig which had a coin-sized chip inside their brain. Elon said the following: "It's kind of like a Fitbit in your skull with tiny wires. It actually fits quite nicely in your skull. It could be under your hair and you wouldn't even know it." End quote. According to the organization, the device could help sufferers of neurological disorders control their phones and computer devices with their mind. Musk announced that his device could someday even cure dementia, Parkinson's and spinal cord injuries. Neuralink will record electrical signals in the brain in order to determine potential actions. Recording neurons will let the link decode the information in the brain. The official website of Neuralink stated the following: "In the movement-related areas of the brain, neurons represent intended movements. There are neurons in the brain that carry information about everything we see, feel, touch, or think. EEGs can monitor neuroactivity from outside the head, but cannot analyze specific signals, whereas the Neuralink, which could be inserted inside the brain, could do with ease. The link would be made of micron-scale threads and inserted into areas of the brain which control movement. Every thread will contain a multitude of electrodes. These threads, Musk assures, would be flexible and tiny, so much so that they'd be inserted using a robotic machine, and not by humans, leaving no room for human error. A Neuralink app would accompany the brain chip, allowing you to control your iOS device, keyboard or mouse with your mind by simply thinking about what you like to do. Officially, the Neuralink is a BMI fully integrated brain-machine interface, sometimes referred to as a BCI, or a brain-computer interface. A BMI can link technology to the brain directly. Information from the brain will be sent to the device or vice versa. For example, a computer could send information to the brain that would make it possible to restore the sense of touch to the body. However, many question the safety of such a device, since countless things could go wrong. There's also a lack of safety criteria. It's new territory and lacks standard guidelines, which means we would have to take the company for their word when they say it's safe to use, and is that a risk that people are willing to take? The main goal of the project is allegedly to help those with paralysis, and have their independence returned to them by allowing them the power to control the electronics around them. It will make it easier to communicate in everyday society, and might let people be more creative since they could edit and alter videos, artworks and photographs with their mind. They state that the neurosurgical robot is capable and efficient at electrode insertion, and that the hole made in the skull would be 23mm large in diameter, but inserting this device into the head will put people at risk of heavy bleeding. There's also a chance that blood vessels may be damaged. Currently, the company is facing opposition from many critics, who fear the danger which this device may impose on human life. Space is one of the last unexplored frontiers. Astronomers are constantly making new discoveries, helping us to better understand the cosmos. For years now, there's been speculation that there's a huge planet in our solar system, with astronomers and scientists saying that this celestial body is affecting everything within our solar system. One of the issues they've faced is trying to pinpoint where this object is. However, back in 1983, astronomers said they brushed over data that could have revealed this mysterious planet. It's estimated that this object was seen over 20 billion miles away. Michael Rowan Robinson from Imperial College London was the one who brought this discovery to light, saying that he searched through old archives in the hopes of finding this object. He said that once he tracked down this old piece of data, it did in fact reveal an odd-looking blip, which he says could be evidence of this mysterious planet. After finding it, he then went to analyze data which had been collected by the infrared astronomical satellite. This was captured in 1983, and it actually revealed 3 sources which could have been Planet 9. Ryan Robinson did say that it could have been a mysterious celestial entity that astronomers missed during the 80s, but did note that we don't have much to go by. Scientists have recreated this planet and revealed that if it does exist, it's estimated to be over 10 times larger than Earth. Caltech researchers Mike Brown and Konstantin Batygin said the following about their findings. Using samples of the orbital elements and estimates of the radius and albedo of such a planet, we calculate the probability distribution function of the on-sky position of Planet 9 and of its brightness. For many reasonable assumptions, Planet 9 is closer and brighter than initially expected, though the probability distribution includes a long tail to larger distances, and uncertainties in the radius and albedo of Planet 9 could yield fainter objects. After updating calculations of observational biases, we find that the clustering remains significant at the 99.6 confidence level. End quote. One of the problems that researchers are facing is how far away this object is, if it even exists in the first place. It's too far away from our Sun to be illuminated, meaning that researchers have to guess where it is, although they've noted that this object is having an effect on things outside of Neptune. Experts from the University of Michigan have suggested that this object may actually be a small black hole, although others have noted that this is nothing more than a theory, and that we don't have enough evidence to label it as a black hole. During the 1980s, the infrared astronomical satellite was able to map over 96% of the sky. It did this over a 10-month period. Researchers said though that at the time they weren't looking for an object 10 times bigger than Earth, so no further tests were conducted in order to find out what this thing was. Ryan Robinson then used modern computer techniques in order to reanalyze the data, saying that this wasn't as straightforward as it sounds, as the infrared astronomical satellite had detected over 250,000 points in space. The team were able to pinpoint this large celestial object down to 3 points. NASA said the following on their website. Caltech researchers have found mathematical evidence suggesting there may be a Planet X deep in the solar system. This hypothetical Neptune-sized planet orbits our Sun in a highly elongated orbit far beyond Pluto. The object, which the researchers have nicknamed Planet 9, could have a mass of around 10 times that of Earth, and orbit around 20 times farther than the Sun on average than Neptune. It may take between 10,000 and 20,000 Earth years to make one full orbit around the Sun. The announcement does not mean that there is a new planet in our solar system. The existence of this distant world is only theoretical at this point, and no direct observation of the object nicknamed Planet 9 is being made. The mathematical prediction of a planet could explain the unique orbits of some smaller objects in the Kuiper Belt, a distant region of icy debris that extends far beyond the orbit of Neptune. Astronomers are now searching for the predicted planet. End quote. Jim Green, director of NASA's Planetary Science Division, said the following. The possibility of a new planet is certainly an exciting one for me as a planetary scientist, and for all of us. This is not, however, the detection or discovery of a new planet. It's too early to say with certainty there's a so-called Planet X. What we're seeing is early prediction based on modelling from limited observations. It's the start of a process that could lead to an exciting result. End quote. The predicted orbit is around 20 times further from our Sun on average than Neptune, which orbits the Sun at an average distance of 2.8 billion miles. It would take this new planet between 10,000 and 20,000 years to make just one full orbit around the Sun, when Neptune completes an orbit roughly every 165 years. They estimate the gravity of this potential planet might explain the unusual orbits of those Kuiper objects. Astronomers are now looking forward to the future, and will start to use powerful telescopes in the hopes of tracking down the object. The Caltech astronomers said the following. We would love to find it, but we'd also be perfectly happy if someone else found it. That is why we're publishing this paper. We hope that other people are going to get inspired and start searching. Anytime we have an interesting idea like this, we always apply Carl Sagan's rules for critical thinking, which include independent confirmation of the facts, looking for alternative explanations, and encouraging scientific debate. If Planet 9 is out there, we'll find it together, or we'll determine an alternative explanation for the data that we've received so far. Now let's go explore." End quote. So what do you make of this announcement, and do you think this planet exists? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comments section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.